With the base having the decal, let's take a look at how we can repeat the same on the remote control. And then with the remote control, I will show you the same process, what we have to do to adjust the geometry. And then afterwards, I will show you a secondary way. In object mode, I click the remote. The problem we have here right now is that's rotated. That's not good. So I press N in case you don't see the properties. Click, drag, set this all to 0. So my object is not rotated. Because later we can just put the rotation back and all the lights follow it. Very good. My 3D cursor where I would import objects is there. I want this to be closer to my remote, so Shift S cursor to select it. Then I go File, Import, Image as Plane, and let's start with this power button. There. And where is it? Oh, I made the same mistake. I still have the base turned on. So there's slice 4. I can actually drag it simply to the remote control there, the remote control collection. Then S, let's scale it down, move it up, scale it down, move it over. Let's here go to this view so we can see the texture. We will set this to alpha blended. We can move this one down, bring this in there. So around the x-axis, RX90. Up, and I can go to a side view. Again, I pressed the dot key on my numpad to zoom into the object. So view frame selected, num period. And with an orthographic view, now I can rotate this really nicely. So that's the main reason why I rotated the device back. And there. And I try to match this really, really good. Because to be honest, I might not even really need to do the shrink wrap. In this case, I just position this one as closely as possible. And we have local turned on. That's good. So let's take a look at the top. Scale a little bit, and then along the local x-axis here, in my case, I move it down so that the distance of the red ring to the outer edge is even. Okay, very good. That was pretty easy. Now, how do we do these buttons? They're angled, and these corners are rounded. So this might actually possess a difficulty. Let me first check which image actually there is being used. 1 second. Let me fire up Gravit Designer. This program is actually not free anymore, but it is just for students $15 per year. So it's not that expensive. And I found this actually to be very, very useful. Okay. They're doing server work right now. I forgot this. I have to log into from here to see my files. I sent all the reminder that today I'm doing updates. Okay, there it is. Open design. So the backwards and the home button. Very good. File, import. There we are. There's that one. So here we are. Scale it down. I move this up so I can see it. Scale it down more. And also here, alpha blend. Scale it more. And I try to make this get close. There we are. Hello there. bring this over. Now we have to rotate this one. Zip. And try to center it a little bit. And rotate it maybe as even. Okay, good. So here I switch to a top view. And so this icon, now we can scale down a little bit more. Let's take a look. Yeah, as you see, the arrow is not that big. So there we have it. We want this to be more flush on the bent surface. So tap to go into edit mode, Control R, make a copy. Very good. And then we do the same steps, modifier, subdivision surface, but simple, please. 2 steps, shrink wrap, project negative, positive to this surface, and maybe 1 millimeter, 2 millimeters. Let's see, maybe more. Okay, so 13 millimeters. So 30 millimeters, that sounds crazy. That's because we have a scale here of 0.006. So I will explain this at a later point, but for the moment, that's really what we have to put in here. Obviously, the distance is not in real life 30 millimeters. So how do we get the other button on it? That's the home one. So import. And there's the home button. Looks like similar scale. So I know that this has a scale of, let's say, this. The same here. 0.006. Okay, so it's tiny. Then let's move it up, bring it over, bring it down, bring it to here, try to center it. So now I want this one to be perfectly centered, like this one. And then now here is a value. If I copy this one, so Control C, go to here, Control V, copy and paste. Actually, on Blender, you can use on PC Control, and on a Mac, you can also use Control or the Command key to do this stuff. And then the rotation minus this, and then here we click it and copy and paste, but do positive. So we get exactly the same stuff. Very nice. Let's position this, adjust the material, whoops, and go into edit mode, Control R, there we are, very nice. And then one more time for good practice, subdivision to simple, modifier, shrink wrap, project, positive, negative, 13 millimeters onto that surface. Very good. It wasn't too complicated. Simply opening these objects, and then with the disk, we position it. Even while we can see it's not really shrink wrapped, but it's a flat surface. And here, because these surfaces are bent, we then just project it. This is now a little bit more tricky because we have a plus. So we can do this. And this is a good exercise and introduction into mesh modeling. This is our object, import images. And then we scale this one down, bring this one up, bring this one over. So one thing to keep in mind when I do these exercises at the beginning, sometimes I put in a little bit more than normally I would do. And that is simply because I use these steps as also very basic exercises to teach you, kind of like in this case, mesh manipulation. Um, um, which means once you know all the stuff, you will skip certain steps. But at the moment, right now, I will add more related exercises into those steps because they're like texturing. This is a great vehicle to teach you the mesh manipulation, which I'm going to show you just in a second. Very good. Okay. So also here I go into this mode and I scale this correctly. So the problem I have now is the corner of this box is not on the dial. And whoops, this dial is also arced. So let's see what we can do to fix this. To make things a little bit easier here, let's go to modify subdivision surface. Simple. Maybe 3 or 4. Yeah, I use 4. There. Okay. Hi, Lulabelle. My baby is just waving in front of my office door. I want to get into my room. Then we do the project. Both sides. What do we say? 13 millimeters. And yeah. So actually, in our case, we can do it this way. So it looks kind of crazy. In this case here with 4, we have enough points to drape this mesh over it. There you can see the more subdivisions, the better the fitting. The less subdivisions, the worse the fitting. 6 is not needed. 3 to 4 is pretty good. Yep. And also here now, if we move this, you see how it swims over the surface. Pretty awesome. But this is a shortcut. I maybe might actually leave it at this. I will, however, show you now how we can refine this a little bit better. So this I will turn off, and this I will turn off. Then let's go into edit mode. Oops, wrong one. And Control R, and we make 2 cuts, like there. Left click and then right mouse button. Here, Control R, move your mouse wheel 1 time. Left click, right mouse button click. So the main reason why I did this is I can now select these edges and, for example, delete these edges. I'm also in edge select. Don't select vertices because see all the stuff goes, just edges. That's pretty good. Now I have just the geometry I need. If this geometry now I subdivide and then project, you can see just this sits on the stuff. That's a little bit cleaner because I'm eliminating the issue with the corners. Okay. Let's go to the next button. Let's say we use the Netflix one. Here we run into the issue, we have rounded corners. But also there we have a simple means to fix this. Import images, Netflix, and there are the sound effects. Move it up, move there, move there, move there, move down, and scale. And then we want this one to rotate. Whoops. There, let's say 0. Actually, what was that? Here, look at this. and we have it exactly the same. There's 7 to go into top view, and then I slide it actually on that surface. There and there. Very good. Then material and transparent. AA. So this from this view looks good. Everything lines up now, these edges, but obviously the problem is it's floating. And I want these corners not to flow over the down these edges. So I have to round these corners. So what we'll do is go into edit mode, Control R, and then I move my mouse wheel two, 3 times, right click, and I do the same here. Control R, move my mouse wheel till, let's say, yeah, like this. So I try to have these edges very close to line up with these arcs. Now, go to point select. There's a point, there's a point. Shift left mouse button click, there's a point. And we want now to round these edges. The command for that is Shift Control B, or we also have the bevel command there. Control B is normal bevel. And hold on, do we see anything there? No, Shift Control B. Oh, hold on. Why? Where are they? Where are they going to? Oh, they're still there. Okay, that was my fault. So Shift Control B, move my mouse, and there you can see actually that 2 points are coming out. So I'm chamfering that edge right now. And I maybe click it till there, that's fine. I can go to a top view, zoom in a little bit, and there I see the 2 dots. And then this bevel command here I open. Because I'm with this dialog, I can increase the amount of points, let's say 10. I can change the amount till, yeah, it gets to there. 0.5 seems to be good. Well, there we are. Very good. And this, now I can shrink wrap. Same process again. Same with the sling. And there we are. No, wait, not the sling, because the sling TV does not have a background. Let's use the Hulu. What's the scale actually for our Netflix? 13. So then we do the same here. 0.013. Move this one up, GZZ, because I'm in local, or use the arrow. And then the rotation, copy, select this one, paste it, but positive. And this is the X value here, okay. And then we paste the same to there, so they're lined up. Now all I have to do is move it down, and then we, position it correctly. Very good. Let's zoom onto it. I will move this down a little bit more. Okay, very good. And now, same steps as before. Tap to go into edit mode, Control R. Here, 2 cuts, left mouse button click, right mouse button click. Here, we click So many cuts do we have? Looks like 9 cuts. Okay, left mouse button click, right mouse button click, and then click these corners. Shift Control B, and then move your mouse till we see the points coming out. See, it copies the previous value, which is pretty nice. So I can open this bevel command here again and then play with this a little bit more. Very good. Yeah, nice. Okay. So that is one way how to do this. I will stop at this point because the other buttons would simply be the repetition of everything. What we then, once we're done, have to do to make sure when we rotate actually the remote control, the labels should all follow it. So I select all my labels and then Shift select at the end the remote control, and then I say object parent object object. Very good. And what was that rotation? Minus 44, minus 22, minus 142. Minus 124. Actually, I don't remember. I might have to look this one up in one of the previous videos. But you see, the labels followed it. So that's pretty awesome. In the next video, then I will show you how we do the Decal via strict UV mapping right on the geometry.